After seeing the Mario Bros. Wonder trailer for the first time, I was super excited to try to remake it in Mario Maker 2. But when I told my fellow YouTuber friend Manx Ninja Pig about my idea, he said it's impossible. Now I have to prove him wrong. The first few scenes were pretty simple to recreate. I did my best to keep most scenes in the new Super Mario Bros. Style, as it looks most similar to the Wonder art style. We don't have any little talking flower guys, so I had to use either fire flowers in certain scenes or donut blocks when Mario needed to run through them. Unlike Mario Maker 2, Mario Wonder has sleepy Goombas that stay in place. We can recreate this by placing Goombas on top of rocky wrenches so that they run on their invisible treadmill. These colorful note blocks work in a very different way in the new game and only bounce when Mario jumps. The blocks I was working with are way too bouncy, so I used different colored blocks and only placed the note block where Mario needs to jump. I had to substitute a few giant rolling snowballs instead of those hippos to match the gameplay here. Mario Maker 2 has dash pads, but no way for Mario to grab the ceiling like in this clip, so I decided to use conveyor belts and tracks with claws instead. It was super important that I put the coins in the exact right spot so I'd be able to sync up with the trailer audio later. Every jump also needed to line up perfectly with the sound effects too, but I found myself having to re-record each scene about 15 to 20 times just to get it right. A beach theme would be nice, but instead we have a refreshing desert, because, you know, sand is sand. To create a makeshift water geyser, I came up with twisters on a moving platform covered by blue blocks. These rising and falling pipes were one of the hardest mechanics for me to recreate. I tried all sorts of designs like these tracks for every single one, but nothing seemed to work. I kept experimenting until I made a bouncy note block move across a track to launch the bullet blasters up one by one. To imitate this scared squirrel birdo looking thing, I had Toadette ride a Yoshi and then take damage. The Yoshi runs away and I threw a shell that eventually caught up. Don't worry, no Yoshis were harmed in this clip. I used the World Maker to make these map scenes. It's very limited, but I got creative. I laughed way too hard when I came up with this idea to make Bowser's ship fly across the map. My goal was to recreate as much as possible in Mario Maker 2 so anybody could recreate it on their own Switch console. To make the glowy Wonder Seed effect, I used this woozy sound effect in the editor. I also used this water splashing one whenever the fountain or pipes were supposed to spray water out, and the glory sound effect was also really useful to light up a dark room and recreate this scene. Oh man, this shadow stretching scene made me lose sleep. There's nothing like this in Mario Maker 2, so I had to get really creative. I racked my brain and couldn't think of anything until I remembered this cool little trick on the Switch. In the settings, you can change the colors to grayscale to make it feel a bit more shadowy. I used bullet blasters, tracks, and winged hard blocks to make it seem like the characters were stretching out. Bowling Ball Mario is so cool, but we have nothing like it to work with. With a friend's suggestion, the closest I could get was the Koopa car in the 3D World style. The only problem is the car takes damage and bounces back when hitting blocks, so I had to go big brain on this one. Mario can wear a cannon box while driving and still shoot cannonballs. I rigged up some red POW blocks and fired the cannon to destroy the blocks right as Mario drives through. I had an idea for this ram scene and set up a Shelmet train. If you set them up correctly, Shelmets can shoot out of bullet blasters like this to make a train of Shelmets Mario can stand on. It worked perfectly. I needed the flagpole to get destroyed, so I had to think again. I put a Magic Koopa on top of a Muncher so he couldn't just teleport away, and I put him right next to the flagpole. When he launches his PlayStation missile magic, the flagpole disappears. Things were going along pretty well until I got to the scenes that needed multiple players. I did my best to make the levels, but I couldn't test them without other people there. But my only 3 friends were busy, so I turned to the Discord community for help. Some super nice people agreed to play the levels with me, and we got to work. It was really fun trying to recreate each scene together. For some reason, the online mode in Mario Maker 2 assigns random characters, so we needed to wait until the level was loading to figure out who we were playing as. Then we would watch the scene to match our movements up with our character. There are only 4 playable characters in Mario Maker 2, and depending on the number of players, you're stuck with a certain group. As you can imagine, we spent over 20 minutes on each 2 to 3 second clip. Coordinating everyone to do their part exactly together was really difficult. It was even harder when it involved jumping at the perfect time, like in this clip. There were several times that something wouldn't work, and I'd have to quickly jump back into the editor to make it right. We spent over 3 hours to get what would end up being about 25 seconds of footage in the trailer. Now that I captured all the footage that I needed, I figured the editing part would be easy. I couldn't have been more wrong. So, Super Mario Maker 2 Online has one huge problem. The lag is absolutely terrible. I guess I'd gotten used to it when we were playing, or I was too focused to notice, but man, when I was editing that footage, it was awful. So guess what I got to do? I had to edit out every single frame of lag. I can't express how long this took me to do. I think it would have been faster for me to make new friends on the street, invite them over, and re-record every single scene. But I powered through and took out all the lag to make the footage feel smooth. I was so close to done, I just needed to get the cool animations from the trailer in there. I'll be honest, I had to learn some new video editing techniques to get these circles to work right, but man, I feel like it was well worth the extra hours invested. I meticulously went over every little detail and tried to sync everything up by overlaying the actual trailer at 50% opacity over the top of my remake footage until I had finally completed the project. Without further ado, here's me proving Manx Ninja Pig wrong with my Mario Bros. Wonder trailer made entirely in Super Mario Maker 2.
Onward and upward.
Goomba looks so sorry. Well then,